Good morning. 9:15. Terrible trouble finding a charger this morning. I went to the first petrol station and not all of the diesel pumps were working and there was lots of people. It was a right palaver. I had to drive up the road to another petrol station that was on my route and fill up here. It took me about a minute and a half. I only put in 34 litres. So the car was pretty empty. What fuel economy can a big, heavy BMW X5 get when you're actually trying? Today I'm on a bit of adventure. I'm going down towards High Wycombe to visit Dr. Ahmed Malik, who you may have heard of. He has a podcast and I'm a guest on his podcast today. So I thought, whilst I was on the way down, let's reset consumption 1 and see just how much economy I can get out of this car. From Worcester, I could go via the sort of Cotswolds, but the weather is absolutely pants. It's as grey as I've ever seen it. It feels really, really dark and it's miserable. So might as well just go M42, M40, which is the shortest, fastest route. We'll cruise at 60 odd mile an hour and listen to some podcasts and see what fuel economy we can get out the big girl. So let's go. That's Lee's line, isn't it? I've got to stop stealing Lee's lines. Oh, people have been like, oh, Jeff, have you fallen out with Lee? You haven't made any videos with him for ages. No, he went to New York. And now he's going to Australia. But we are hanging out tomorrow. He's got a mandate. Not the sort of mandate that Dr. Ahmed Malik's going to be talking about. But he's decided somewhere for coffee in the morning. I'm choosing an activity. And then we're going for lunch. My wife's getting jealous. No, so it's going to be a fun day. I think I'm going to take him go-karting. But again, British weather. So, what activity do you think I should do with the Macmaster tomorrow? Suggestions? Something fun. Paintball or axe throwing or an escape room or something like that. Probably just going to go go-karting, not going to lie. I just want to go go-karting. And then Wednesday, I'm at Donington Park, and as this video has turned into a fuel economy challenge drive and chat, I might as well update you on what's going on with the Peugeot 206 GTI I bought the other night. My friend Steve has had it all weekend. He's had the top of the engine sort of apart, and he's well, look, I'll put his video in here that explains what's wrong with the car.
You can have a listen to your noise. Oh, we'll have a look at the light as well. So you turn the ignition on, stop light comes on, so you know it works. Stop. That engine, man, must be absolutely fucked. Look how far the engine moves when it's ticking over. I really can't hear the noise. It doesn't sound that bad now. You can sort of feel it here. Someone's sawed a hole in this strut top to get to something down there as well. There's no coolant in your antifreeze, but that's not going to break it. Can't believe how much the engine moves.
But basically, he's done an oil change. He's swapped the tyres around, so now we've got good tyres on the front, and he's assessed the car as a mechanic and said we're good to go. So the bits that I bought on Friday night when I rushed all the way over to the NEC to pick up 2 drive shafts for a Peugeot 206 in rush hour, I didn't need, so I'm gonna have to go back and take them back. But the Peugeot is good to go for the track day. Right, I'm gonna get across this roundabout, and then I'm going to join the motorway, and then we're going to sit on the motorway from the M42 all the way to the M40 to go and do I've never done a podcast before. I guessed on someone else's podcast. That's very exciting, isn't it? I am quite excited, possibly even a little bit nervous. Oh, broken down car. What is it? It's a Mini Cooper S. You really don't want to be breaking down there. Anyway, I'm going to crack on with the journey. 32.4 miles to the gallon, so I'm told, on my way to the motorway. Can we get 40? 40 is my target. If I can get 40 miles to the gallon average out of this car today, I'll be pleased. It's big, it's heavy, it's stupid, it's totally unnecessary. but I like it, and I don't really know why. Bloody hell, Jeff, that was a 4-minute introduction to what is already going to be a boring video. Crack on with it. I will. Journey update then. I have covered 86 miles so far. Current fuel economy is 44.8 miles to the gallon. Pretty good for a big girl. However, look at these skies. Like, I really didn't want to film this stuff today. It's just crazy. Driving into some like low-hanging cloud. Is it a fog? Is it a mist up ahead? Then you got the sun that's veiled behind something. There's something in front of it. It comes out better in the camera than real life. I did manage to capture. Oh, there's some absolutely all right, just yeah. Wow. I don't know what's going on. There's a lot going on. That's all I can really say about it. Buckinghamshire Shire, a new shire. I've been in this shire for a while. Come on, Uber, you can see that guy indicating. You move over and you let him in. Come on, Mercedes, go. Use the pedal on the right. Oh, don't bother. Just sat there indicating. Use your flipping accelerator. Maybe waste valuable fuel. Oh, and he didn't want to come out anyway. He sat there indicating and now he's still behind that lorry. Make your mind up. Like, what? Where's everybody's confidence gone? I was saying this with the wife this morning. I'm going to turn the camera around. Whee, grotty steering wheel. I'm going to do something about this week. I'm going to buy a cover for it. Yeah, confidence. Where's everybody's confidence on the road gone? My wife was saying this morning as we were driving to school, there's a section on our run to school where 3 lanes become 1. Spice Girls. And everybody sits in the 1 lane when you could use 2. But they don't. Because there's this mentality of, oh, I must get over ready, so that I don't understand it. Because what happens then is it causes a backlog all the way across the roundabout, which impacts all of the other traffic. Whereas if people use both lanes, it keeps the roundabout free. But they don't. They all have to queue behind each other. And I wonder if it's a confidence thing. Like, if we got to a stage where people have got so little confidence in themselves and in their abilities that they won't do it. They won't go down the right-hand side. They won't use the extra lane that's there because they're scared of what other people are going to think of them. And how have we got to a stage where people don't have a level of confidence to even do something like select the correct lane when you're driving? Or is it just that people's driving standards are bad? Is everybody being too timid? Oh, I can't use the right-hand lane. That's for people who are arrogant. Well, no, it's not. That's for people who understand the highway code and understand merge in turn and who would like to get on with their day. I don't just want to sit behind a whole load of Karens when I'm trying to make progress. And whenever I say this on YouTube about merge in turn situations and I say, go down to the cones, that's what you're supposed to do, there's always people in the comments that disagree. Well, you're all behind me. Anyway. I like these glasses because they sort of make the world a slightly happier place, especially on very weird grey days like today. And that's the thing, when you're driving, you need to be decisive. You can't indicate and then wait and wonder what's going on behind you. You've got to tell everybody what you're doing and then make your move. That way everybody knows what's happening. Don't tell everybody what you're doing and then wait for the person behind to make your move. Check your mirrors, be safe, ensure you've got enough space, and then have the balls to go for it. Don't dilly-dally. That's what causes accidents. Just confidence in your manoeuvring when you're on the road. Know where everybody else is, know where you are, and where you need to be. Don't get it. Anyway, I'm going to show you my I'll flip the camera around again and I'll show you my driving glasses. I've just been listening to a podcast, been listening to a couple of things actually. Been listening to Dr. Ahmed Malik's podcast to make sure I understand what he's all about, what his journey has been, ready for our sit-down chat. Then I had a wireless phone call with Master regarding our plans for tomorrow. Can't find anywhere to go go-karting locally because the go-karting place I wanted to go to shut down during COVID and never reopened. Like many businesses that were destroyed by lockdowns. And then I listened to a little YouTube video about the World Economic Forum. I mean, I'm not saying, you know, all of those things are connected. Oh, and then I filmed the skies for a little bit. And I'm not saying all of these things are connected, but if you've been following my channel for a while, you probably know that all of these things are connected. Fuel economy update, gone down a little bit, 44.1, but the target was 40, so we're on track. I reckon on the run home, I can bring that number up as well. I have seen it as high as 49, but I must have been rolling and not in gear. Not something you can do in a Tesla. Right, let me show you these glasses. Right, here we go then. So that is how everything looks without the glasses. And then if we put the glasses on, it's a whole lot happier. Gives you sort of 70s Kodachrome Sapia vibe. It's quite easy on the eyes as well. Is it does use more diesel than cars that I'm used to. You know, my Volvo 850 TDI will average above 50. The 3 Series that I just sold, the John O'Groats car, will average closer to 60. But I just really like the X5. I can't fully put my finger on what it is. It's not the size, because I don't usually like big vehicles. I think it's quite a lot to do with the engine. I think this 3-litre diesel BMW engine is just an absolute peach. So the plan is to get rid of all of our BMWs. We still obviously own this X5 and my wife's 116 diesel. The plan is to get rid of both of those 2 cars. As I said, 3 Series left me on Sunday, and replace them all with a 330 diesel automatic estate with a panoramic roof and heated seats. So now, or it could be a 530. So now it's just a case of timing and finding one. So we've got a holiday coming up in February, so we're going to get that out of the way. As I said in my other video, we go away in Feb because it's cheaper than going away in the summer. We'll get that holiday out of the way, and then when I come back, I'm going to start shopping for a new family car. Weirdest skies. The lies are in the skies, and you can see them with your eyes. If you're only willing to open them. Trying. Check out the Lexus. That's pretty cool, that. I'd curb those wheels everywhere I went, though. Very rarely have evangelists in the comments talking about their BMW i3s, and do you know why that is? I think the i3 just works. Is that what it is? Is it you never seem to hear anyone complaining about the BMW i3. Is that an i3? Is that what it's called? I think it was called an i3. Is that what the badge says on the back? Which doesn't make sense, because surely the 3 is a 3 Series. Traffic light, right. It's got huge wheels that are really narrow. It is an i3. I can see it there. Why did they call that the i3? Maybe it was before they realised they were going to make an electric 3 Series. Which doesn't show very good foresight on BMW's part then, does it? And it just shows that they were forced to make an electric 3 Series by legislation. They hadn't actually planned to do it, which is why their electric 3 Series is rubbish, because it's derived from a petrol car, diesel car, ICE car. It's not a purpose-built electric car. Ponderings from High Wycombe. We're not perfect by any stretch. I drink far too much. We do go out for dinner, and then you eat rubbish when you're out for dinner, and you don't know how it's been cooked or what it's been cooked in or whatever, but that's the real world that we live in. But I think it's important of health and well-being and nutrition, and you've absolutely got to be aware of what's in your food, because when you start researching it, it's the same as all these other rabbit holes that you go down, and you pick up that thing that you've always been eating, and you actually read the ingredients, and you go, right, what are these 3 things here that I can't pronounce? And you go on Wikipedia, and you go, none of those are good. Why haven't we been told about this?
Yeah.
And then you go down that whole thing of like the food industry is connected to the pharma industry, and the pharma industry is connected to the medical industry, and the medical industry is connected to the doctors, and nobody wants you to be well, and nobody wants you to be healthy, and nobody's looking out for you. So you have to look out for yourself in everything that you do. Everything'll be just fine. Everything'll be all right. Right then. I didn't really feel much on the way home. I've just been singing. I've been listening to, Death Cab for Cutie's album called Plans, which is just fantastic. Favourite track on that one is track number 1, called The Marching Bands of Manhattan. Beautiful. And if you want a really emotive, a real builder song by Death Cab for Cutie, I can recommend the song called Transatlanticism, from the album called Transatlanticism. And after I finished that album, I moved on to Jimmy Eat World's album, which was called Bleed American, but then they changed the name and sort of called it, it was just called Jimmy Eat World because of 9/11, which was stupid. I think that's what happened anyway. Or in the UK it was called Jimmy Eat World, but in America it was called Bleed American, something like that. Absolute classics from my youth. Back from a time when life was simple, and I never used to look at the skies, and basically was more concerned about whether my girlfriend, whoever it was at the time, was going to text me back on probably an old Nokia, and there was no Facebook. I don't even think I was on MySpace back then, and I had a CD player, possibly a mini disc player. Anyway, anecdotes aside, that was a good day. Dr. Malik and I did a 3-hour podcast, and we could have kept going, but he had to go and pick up his kids. We went through all sorts of different subjects, and I really opened up actually. So it'll be interesting to listen to that one back, because I think I'm going to cringe. But when you sat there with the headphones on, talking to an actual doctor, you lose sight of the fact that hundreds or possibly thousands of people are going to be listening back to it on the internet, and you didn't just share something with one person, you just shared it with everyone. Right, you all want to know, you probably don't all want to know, you all want to know how my 2.5 litre ton 4-wheel drive SUV with an automatic gearbox has done on fuel today. It's telling me that I've done 220 miles so far. I've got 10 more to go. So 230 miles today, all in. It's done 42.8 miles to the gallon. And I wasn't really hanging around on the drive back either, because this car doesn't, like I said in my cross-country trip when I did the challenge with Lee, this car doesn't like to hang around. It's just very comfortable at 80 miles an hour. That's where it wants to be. So 42.8 miles to the gallon from my SUV. Not bad, not bad. Could have done it cheaper, obviously, like I've said in all my YouTube challenges, but it's just a big comfy car that's easy to drive and easy to live with. So that is my little road trip. Highlights of the day: I enjoy watching red kites. I've said this before in videos. I like watching red kites flying above me. That's fun. And my friend Tim sent me a WhatsApp. There's been another big cat sighting in Gloucestershire. So coming up soon, I'm going I'm tired. I'm going big hat hunting. Big hat hunting? I'm going big cat hunting not hunting, because that would be unethical for a big cat. We're going to go see if we can find evidence of big cats in Gloucestershire, in the not the Wire Forest, what's the other one? The Forest of Dean. I'd like a forest named after me. How do I get a Forest of Jeff? I've got to buy a forest. You know, you're driving along the motorway and you see those signs that say woodland for sale. Maybe I should invest in some woodland, and then I could launch the Forest of Jeff, and it'll be full of big cats and pheasants. Although, hang on, if it's full of big cats, there's unlikely to be any pheasants, isn't there? Maybe I could train them to live side by side. And on that craziness, we will finish tonight's quite ridiculous video. 42.8 miles to the gallon. Well done, girl. Right, I'm going go-karting with Lee tomorrow, and I'm dead excited. See you tomorrow.